Hi, it's Harry from Invoice Stack here. Today I'm going to show you all about products in Xero and HubSpot. Using products can improve your reporting and streamline your data entry. We'll look at where products sit in Xero and in HubSpot, and then show you how to use both to make creating Invoice Stack invoices super easy. But first, what do we mean by products? We mean an individual line item that represents a product, service, or category of products that you sell. HubSpot calls these products, and Xero calls them items, and you can use them to record either physical products or discrete services that you can categorize or group together. For example, if you're selling software, you might have an item for each level of subscription, an item for each type of add-on, and extra items for consultancy and setup. And if you're an agency, you could have a product for each service or for each type of billable hour that you sell. By using products, you can report on sales of these products in bulk, even if the description of the line item varies from invoice to invoice. This gives you more consistency in your reporting and also saves on data entry. If you're thinking, my products in Xero and HubSpot don't match up, then don't worry. There's a solution for this at the end of the video. So first, let's look at Xero. Inside Xero, you can go to Business and Products and Services to see a list of your products. Let's create a new one. First, you have an item code. This is really important. This matches up with the SKU code in HubSpot. And so we need to make sure that they match. It can be a series of numbers or letters. So I'm going to create a software subscription and I'm going to type in the name. So this is just an internal name that you can use to track across Xero. Now I can track an inventory item if I like. Now it's important to note that if you do use this option, it will track inventory inside Xero. HubSpot doesn't support inventory items, so it won't warn you an item is out of stock before you go and sell it. You can also purchase items as well. I'm going to untick that one for our usage, and we're just going to use this sell option. We can add this item to invoices and other sales transactions like credit notes, etc. So I'm going to put in the sale price. So the sale price is just a default price, but if you're not using HubSpot quotes, then it kind of helps with the data entry. So I'm going to put in £1,000 monthly. And then this is a really important bit, putting in the account and tax rate. So this is really helpful because this saves on data entry when you're creating your invoices. So it means your salespeople don't need to worry about which account to put the items into. So here I'm going to select a sales account, revenue account, and it's automatically selected the tax rate. Then finally, I've got a description. This is only if you want the description on the invoice to be different from the name up here. So let's click Save on this item, and then let's look inside HubSpot to see what a product looks like there. HubSpot has products too, and you can use these in line items and quotes. If you're not using quotes or line items inside HubSpot, then don't worry. Items are still really important because they help you with your data entry when you're creating the invoice, but you can skip this bit about creating HubSpot products. Now, I mentioned earlier that you might want to keep your products in sync between Xero and HubSpot. Now, luckily, HubSpot have got a free app that help you do that. So all you need to do is search on the App Store for this one here called Xero, and it's created by HubSpot, and the tagline is Data Sync. So it mentions that you can sync Xero and HubSpot contacts. Actually, you can sync products and you can sync them back and forth. We've got a whole article about that on our website if you want more information about what it can and can't sync. So you can either choose to have your Xero products as a source of truth or your HubSpot products as a source of truth, or merge them together. Now, one thing to remember is if you're importing your HubSpot products into Xero, you will still need to go into Xero and configure the sales account and tax rate for each one. I'm going to show you some of the settings for creating a product inside HubSpot. So let's do that from scratch. Here's my Create Product button. So I'm going to put in my name and my SKU. So this is the really important bit. This is what Invoice Stack uses to map products between Xero and HubSpot. So we need to make sure that this is the same. And here's a description. So this description only shows on HubSpot quotes. So that won't show on your invoice, but you can use this to enhance some of the information that shows on your quote. Finally, I'm going to add in my price. Really important here if you're using subscriptions, it's got billing frequency. So I'm going to put monthly here, and that will help Invoice Stack create the right type of invoice. You can put in multi-currency, and then you can also have a billing term. So let's say that's 12 months. And again, Invoice Stack will pick that up. So I'm going to click Save on here, and my software subscription has been created. Now let's create a deal using this product. So here's a deal that I created earlier. You can see it's not got any line items on here. So you can generate line items a number of ways, either when you're creating a deal via the quote process or just manually in the sidebar here. I'm going to show you this, but the screen that lets you add line items inside a quote looks really, really similar. So you may well recognize it. What I'm going to do is I've got a couple of options here. I can select an item from my product library. So that's the products that I've just created, or I can create a custom line items. Custom line items won't be linked to Xero product or your reporting inside HubSpot. So a top tip is that you can actually turn this option off inside the user permissions for your HubSpot users. And that will make sure that they're only creating line items from that library. So let's choose our item, software subscription. I'm just going to tick it. I can tick as many items as I like and add them all at once. And I can use this as my line item. Now, during a quote, you may well adjust the pricing, for example, or even change the name of the line item. And anything that you change here won't update the rest of the product. It's only for this specific deal, which is really helpful. So it means that salespeople can't overwrite any of the information, but you can edit any of the terms that you have here. So I'm going to click save and it's going to update my deal amount. And let's see what that looks like on an invoice. Before we do that, let's check our Invoice Stack settings. We're going to log into our dashboard. So just go to the Invoice Stack website and click login. On your dashboard, just go to preferences down the sidebar. And the setting we're going to check is here. How do you create your line items? So you can choose to either just type them in, or if you're going to use products inside HubSpot and Xero, then we're going to select match to product inside Xero. I'm going to tick that box, click save, and that's all you need to do. Now let's go back to HubSpot. So let's start up Invoice Stack. Here we have our software subscription filled in as a line item. You can see it's used the description from the line item and the new price that we put in as well. On the left-hand side, you can see the line item inside Xero. That's automatically selected right here. And if it's not selected or doesn't match for any reason, you'll see an error message. You'll also see that the sales account and the tax rate is automatically selected. Now, if you're not using HubSpot products, you can really easily use Xero products to quickly add new line items to build your invoices out. All you need to do is add a new line item, and you'll see a list here of all of the Xero line items. You can even search for them as well. And when I select one, it will fill out the default description, the account and tax rates, and that default price. And again, you can edit these before they go over. So you can use this to build invoices really quickly. I'm going to sync this over to Xero, and that's done. Now, let's have a quick look at some of the reporting you can do using those line items. Inside Xero, you can grab a report called the Inventory Item Summary. So here's a list of all of our items. You can see the total sales and the quantity sold. Our invoice isn't approved yet, so it doesn't show on the finance reports. So the finance team can use these reports to really easily get the information that they need about what products you're selling. They can filter it by month and a number of different options here. There are a couple of other reports inside Xero about inventory items that you can check out as well. Now here's what this looks like in HubSpot. What we've done here is created a dashboard with a couple of different reports. This report is based on line items and deals, and we've only counted deals that have been invoiced. So you can see my SKU down the left-hand side, and then the total revenue from those SKUs on the right-hand side. Over here, we've done a different type of graph, which is the total number of line items sold per deal. And again, you can filter this by any of your deal data, whether invoices are paid or not, and whatever the status of the invoice is. So hopefully you've seen that creating products inside Xero and HubSpot isn't too tricky to get started and unlocks a whole load of benefits. If you want help with your setup or need any questions answering, then do reach out to the Invoice Stack team. We're more than happy to help you with this part of the process. Thanks for watching.